All right, so I'm here on this 2017 EcoBoost F-150. So originally I thought it needed a water pump, which, you know, it does, a lot of these do. But when I showed up, I pressure tested it. It was pouring out of the heater core fittings back there, and also seeping from both of these right here. And one of these is a heater core fitting in this T, and the other one, which is hidden right there, it goes down to the oil cooler or warm up, or, you know, however you want to look at it. So those were leaking. Took care of those, and now a leak right in the valley started showing up. And when you look at it from the bottom, it looks, you know, it's a normal water pump leak, which is super common on these. But looking at the bottom of the water pump, there is residue where there was a leak. But right now from the valley is where the big leak is. So that is the thermostat housing, the big black piece right there with the spigot coming down. On the camera straight down, but it kind of goes diagonally whenever you're straight up like that. And so we're gonna be replacing both the water pump and that thermostat housing. So to do that, the first thing I've done is remove this this T that goes to the air filter, and right here, and then over here. Then I'm gonna start removing some of the hoses that go just right here. I'll probably move the throttle body as well, just to get some room, which is, you know, just these 4 bolts and the connector, and it should come off, you know, and the boot. And it's looking pretty crispy, honestly. I don't know how well that'll come off, but we're gonna find out, I guess. Okay, so at this point, I have the coolant draining. You can see the coolant down there. I got the throttle body off. I have this cooler piping unhooked from the bottom just so I got some room to swing it. I got it just sitting over there. I was wanting to take this one off, but it's just being a giant pain with how it's down there. So we'll see, you know, what we can end up doing. But from here, it looks like it'd be pretty straightforward. Just unhook the hoses. That one over there, and then there's a tiny one somewhere. Oh, yeah, right here. And unhook the hoses, and should be able to pull the thermostat housing off. So, and then, you know, the bolts will hold it on, and it should ideally, you know, just be able to pop out of the center without too much of a headache, but we'll see how that goes. Also, quick tip, if you don't have one of these hose clamp tools, get one of these from wherever. I got this one from O'Reilly's. They have some better ones for sure. This one's obviously a bit mangled from how much I use it, but this is one tool that after I have it, I cannot go without. It makes life so much easier with these constant tension clamps, so highly recommend. So I got that one off. Now this one I'm probably not going to take off until it's out of the car, I think, because I'm also replacing the water pump, as I said. So I'm just going to unbolt it from the front cover right here, or, you know, the water pump inlet, maybe even outlet. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but unbolt it from right here and just pull the assembly out as a whole, hopefully. All right, so you can see I got this water outlet off right there, and the O-ring is stuck to the old water pump, which is fine. I just went ahead and removed that because I couldn't get this hose to come off here. I don't think there's enough hose here to really kink it up and pull it out of there. But to remove that and all this as one piece, you got to remove this hose. And if you remove this hose, you got to be careful with this joint right here, because this Ford plastic likes to snap and break and crack and just do everything it's not supposed to. So you got to be pretty careful with that, twisting that off there. So, you know, at this time, it doesn't seem to be cracked, but I pressured up and realized that got ruined in the process, which is just part of owning one of these things, I guess. Luckily, I don't own it. You know, with that, I should be able to remove the water outlet attached to the thermostat housing, just pull it all off. Now, if you're doing just the water pump, you don't have to, you know, remove all this stuff. You can just unbolt this from the water pump, and then get your bolts and leave this attached and everything. You should be good to go. But since I'm doing thermostat housing, I have to do all this extra stuff. So hopefully now there's a few bolts holding on, and I should just be able to unbolt it and pop it out of there. Worst case, I might just pull the engine cover off and get a screwdriver or something from the top to pop it off the water crossover, or whatever they want to call it on this particular engine. So that's what we're gonna be doing next. So it looks like we got 4 bolts holding this on. We got one under there, one right there to the left, one below it and one right there. So we're gonna remove those four. We'll probably try to pop this off by prying against this bolt on the housing. And hopefully it'll come off. And we got two sides to try from, so we'll see how that goes. And there's also a hidden bolt right underneath this main spigot pointing forward. Back under it, there's a pocket. Yeah, you can't see it, but it's back there. So you gotta undo that one or else it won't come out. All right, we got it out. And it kind of looks like right here, you can see the residue where it's leaking, possibly out of that O-ring right there on the bottom side of the thermostat housing. So that's a good sign that this is more than likely the leak. I'm gonna go ahead and put the phone down there and just see if we can get a look at everything a little bit better and make sure that that's what we're looking at. Pretty hard to tell, but it's definitely very wet right there. So, you know, this right here is definitely our source of the leak. Luckily, we don't have like a crossover pipe like on some of the other ones. We gotta worry about the backside leaking, but yeah, this didn't look too bad, honestly. The annoying thing about this leak though is that it does leak right out of the valley and then down the side of the water pump. So it's very easy to think that it is a water pump when in fact, you know, this thing is leaking. Now, I think this is only because the car got overheated or the truck got overheated. So you may only be looking at it if that was your situation. I don't see these being a super common thing from what I've, you know, researched, but they could be. So, but yeah, just kind of annoying how you can look exactly like the water pump leak, but not be, so. So before I remove the drive belt on this to get the water pump off, I'm gonna go ahead and loosen these bolts so I'll be able to pull them out without, you know, the pulley spinning on me. Now with the belt and pulley off, we're just gonna go ahead and go around and remove all the water pump bolts, hold it to the front cover. I believe there's 8, but I could just be wrong. But yeah, there's gonna be some on the underside that we can't see right now. All right, so from this view, you can see I have all of them out except there's one that's underneath the turbine and then one that's kind of right next to this bolt below it. And to pop the pump off, there's little spots you can pry on, like right here, just behind the pump, if I can get there. And it'll be kind of stiff. It's not gonna want to move too much, but you can see it coming from the timing cover. There's another spot right here, but I didn't remove these hoses, so I kind of limited with my placement. But yeah, there's a few ears all the way around the pump that you could use to pop it off there. All right, so the pump is off. You can kind of see some residue on the gasket mating surface as well as where this O-ring is going to be sitting. So I'm just going to take a little bit of red Scotch-Brite, something not too abrasive, and just kind of scratch down this residue so we can get a good seal. All right, got a lot of the buildup off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the pump back on, and then we'll talk about torquing the bolts. And then also this gasket probably fits on one way, but the convex side is towards the engine, so something to note. All right, so I'm going to torque all these bolts to first 89 inch-pounds, and this is gonna be a 45 turn after that. So first they're all getting torqued to 89, and then what I'm gonna do is torque this one the 45 degrees, and then I'll tell you how much torque that is, and it should be good just to go off of that because not everyone has an angle gauge. So here we go. All right, so went ahead and did the angle on them, and at the end of it, it said like 25 Newton meters, which, you know, isn't an ideal measurement for most people, but yeah, Newton meters is what it told me. So I would say, you know, 89 inch-pounds, and then after that, torque them all to 25 Newton meters if you have that ability. Next, it's pretty much the same torque, but I'm gonna try to clean off this valley area a little bit, just so we can confirm the leak is gone once I put the new thermostat housing on. Now with the belt on, I'm gonna torque these to 18 foot-pounds. All right, so I got the new thermostat housing in. I'm just gonna start reconnecting everything and and it should be good to go. So if this video helped you out, let me know by leaving a like, and if you like some more content like this, go and subscribe. I try to do stuff like this somewhat often. This one I just happened to notice that there's like hardly any videos that tell you exactly how to do this, so thought I'd try to do something that might help someone out. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.